Hello and welcome to Creativity Week. I am so excited to kick off this week with some organization. Don't we all need a little bit of this, right? So I am super excited for Creativity Week. This is the first ever time I've ever done this. So it's going to be a learning experience for me probably, and for probably you as well. But I so appreciate you joining me on this adventure. I think it's going to be a fun week, and I have lots of tips and tricks to share with you throughout the week. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. A couple of quick things that you might be asking at this point. If you can't attend lives in the Facebook group, don't worry about that. That's going to just be kind of supplemental sort of things. You can always catch the replays later. The meat of the challenge is going to be delivered right to your email inbox every day. So you won't have to go hunting for it. The Facebook group is just kind of an ancillary, a part of the challenge. It's really just to help build community and help you guys get to know each other and me to get to know you and to really kind of come together on our love of crafting. So don't worry about it if you can't get into the group. I know some of you work during the day. That's totally fine. You're not going to miss a thing. So let's jump right in to the meat for day one. Day one's theme is all about organization, and that is really key to our success in the craft room, I think. So I want to just start by saying organization is really personal. So I can tell you all the things that work for me, and it may or may not work for me, or for you rather, which is why I wanted to create that community for us to share about what works and what doesn't, because you might get some nugget that works that I use, but something else might not work for you, right? And I think we're always continuously evolving our organization, just because as we evolve and we figure out more about how we craft and why we craft, it gives us more insight into how to organize our crafts, right? So I think it's really important for you to start with, how do you create? Like, what's your process? You're really gonna think about, do I craft alone? Do I craft with friends? Do I craft by color? Do I craft by theme? Do I craft by company? Like, do you always use this, different brands, but you like the brand stuff to be together, or you like all your same color product to be together? So those are all things you want to think about, because that's all going to play into your organization. So really kind of take a minute on your worksheet today and jot down a little bit about how you craft. Like, think about it for a minute. I don't think we really take the time to really think about how we do what we do. We just kind of do it, right? So, maybe if you have to sit down and create a project today, really think about your process. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Do you pull your colors first? Do you pull your product line first? Do you pull your photos first? How do you approach your project? And then you can kind of make some notes about that, and that might even lead you to some new storage ideas, because it might kind of lend you to a different format. So for me, I obviously use all Stampin' Up! Product, but I know that's not the case for most of you. So that does simplify my organization a little bit. But I store, and I don't know if you guys can see right here, I store all of my cardstock by color. And they're not like this, the scrapbooking 12 by, that's my 12 by 12 cardstock. That is stored just by general color. So it's not by, crushed curry or so saffron. It's just yellows, reds, greens, blues, purples, that kind of thing. Over here in the file cabinet it's an 8.5 by 11 file cabinet, and that's where I store my 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and that is by individual colors in each folder. And I have the top drawer is brights and neutrals, and the bottom drawer is subtles and regals. And then I have the ink colors in the bottom drawer as well. So that has worked for me for a really long time. I will be honest, I've kind of been thinking about revamping it, just because, not because it doesn't work. It works great. Like, it's actually a really well functioning system, so I'm probably dumb to try and revamp it. But I just love when you can see all the pretty colors, right? So I'm thinking I might get one of those big Kallax units or something, so I can put all the colors out, because I think that's really fun, and it would make a really good backdrop for my videos, right? So the other thing too, so my stamps are in a bookcase. You can see them all right there. I'm very well behaved at the time being. I don't have a ton at the moment, but I store those alphabetically. But I also am in my stamps a lot, like I'm in my catalog a lot, so I know all the names for the most part. That might be a little bit trickier if you're not, a demonstrator and, know all the names of the stamp sets. Then you might want to store them by theme or by like category. So you could have sentiments and you could have images, or you could have Christmas and you could have birthday, however you wanted to break that up. But again, think about how you create. How do you normally do that? So if you are one of those really super hyper organized people that has all of their like a binder of their stamps and their images and stuff like that, you could obviously do it by alphabetical. Would make sense, right? So really think about that a little bit before you plan how you're going to arrange those. On your workbook, or in your workbook on day one, I also asked a couple of questions. So where do you have an organizational struggle? So for me, my ribbon is a struggle. It's all in a little drawer right now, but I can't see it. I never remember to order it. It's way on the other side of the room. So that all needs to be fixed up a little bit. I need to fix that problem. Another problem you may have is, do you keep your ribbon and your twine together? I don't. I actually have my ribbon in one and my twine in another, so they're separate. So things like that you might want to think about too. So, what is not working for you, because then you can kind of maybe brainstorm some other solutions. Or I encourage you to go ahead and post in the group. Be like, hey, how do you store your ribbon? I want to see some pictures. I want to see what you do. It might inspire you to kind of revamp what you do, right? So go ahead and jump in there. This group is your group for the week. So go ahead and use it, take advantage of it, brainstorm, pick people's brains, figure out what works and what doesn't, and then you might find a new solution for yourself as well. I also put on there, what have you mastered in terms of organization? So what really works for you? So I love my little Stampin' Storage right here that has all of my, it has my ink pads, my marker, my Stampin' Write markers, my Stampin' Blends, and my ink refills all in one spot. That works really great. I actually have an older stamp case or a stamp holder that's not Stampin' Up, but one I had before it, that's right in front of me right now on my live desk as well. So I have another set of inks right in front of me too. So that works really well. This is kind of my personal crafting area. So those are all my really good ink pads, and then the ones here are all my class ink pads that I use here for my lives and for my classes in person. So that is another thing to think about. One more thing too is I actually go on the go a lot for crafting. So I go to a lot of crops and I scrap away from home a lot. So if that's something you do, if you travel to other weekend events or you go to craft with friends, you want to think about what kinds of storage are easily toteable. So in that case, this may not be your best option, right? Because it's not very easy. I have done it, but it's not very easy to pick it all up and bring it with you. So you want to think about bags and totes and baskets and things like that you could use for your products. So I know I don't know if they still have them, but 31 used to have some really good long skinny zippered pouches that fit our Stampin' Up ink pads. I actually have my blends, so I have 2 sets of blends as well. So those are my personal set of blends, but I also have extras in a little 31. It's actually a toiletry bag. It's like a men's little toiletry bag that I use for my Stampin' Blends. So you can kind of revamp how you carry things based on whether or not you carry them around. So actually my dies are right here. Those are my dies for my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I have them in baskets because I often bring them with me. So I'll just grab that basket, plop it in a little 31 bag, and off I go, right? So that's really easily portable. Also, all my designer series paper, I know I'm very good. I'm very well behaved. I just have those 2. One of them is annual catalog. One of them is holiday catalog. Again, I don't really use anything but Stampin' Up, so that helps me keep things simple, right? But I can grab those 12 by 12. I think they're cropper hoppers. I think that's what they're called. Those are what I use for my 12 by 12 patterned paper. And then inside I have the little studio, I forget what it's called. I get them from Suling at Time to Scrap, but they're little storage sleeves that I put each individual paper pack into. So I have a paper pack per sleeve. So that really helps me too. All right, so I think that's kind of all I really wanted to chat about today, just kind of get your mind thinking. I will say that personally, when it comes to my personal craft space, I prefer, I have a big giant room right here. I have a studio, but I prefer to keep all of my crafting supplies in one little corner, preferably within like this little corner where I'm sitting, so that I don't have to walk across the room or walk down the other end of the hall, not the hall, the room, and get something from over there. So that's actually my ultimate goal right now, because I am trying to revamp this a little bit. It's not quite working for me after I've been here for just about a year now, a little over a year. So I need to revamp this. And I remembered that in my apartment when I was in Sagamore, I was in a little corner of my living room, and that was the most functional craft space I've ever had, to be honest, because it was all contained in one little corner. I could reach my die cutting machine, my embossing folders, my stamps, my inks, my markers, my, all my embellishments. Everything was within reach from my chair. And that, I think, is ideal for all of us, right? And then we just have to think about how to make it portable. If we need it portable, we have to think about what makes it most convenient for us to find what we're looking for when we're looking for it, right? So a home for all of our, adhesives and scissors and blends. And so I have this on my desk. This is my little tool bin, which is also portable, right? And then I do have, I think they're behind me though, I do have the little stash and store holders for like my blending brushes or handy, like my take your pick tool, things that I go for and grab for often. So those are really great tools too. And I'll post some of the pictures of those things in the group later today, just so you guys can see some of those storage solutions, because I know that's helpful to see pictures rather than just talk about it. So I hope that gave you some inspiration to go tackle your room. So that is your challenge for the day. Take some before pictures, and I've got this pretty much strategically set up so you can't see, but look, there's the giant mess right behind me that I need to clean up. There's also some mess on the floor and on my table, which I posted this morning. So I've got some cleaning to do as well, but that is your task. So take a before picture, tackle that room, get it all cleaned up, and it may take you some time. So if you can't do the whole room today, just tackle your craft desk at least, right? So get that clean so you're ready to hit the ground running with all of our future projects this week. And then you can work on the room throughout the rest of the week, and be sure to post an after picture too, whether that's an after picture of your table or an after picture of your room. We want to see it all. So thanks so much for joining me, you guys. I'm so excited about this week, and I'm so glad you're joining me. I hope you have a blast this week. Be interactive, stay connected. That's going to help you get to the finish line this week and really see some progress in your craft room. I am so looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Bye.